just like that, you know? It's like, I don't think there are really any new ideas, but it's your slant on the love story, you know, whatever it is, whoever it's between, or the road movie or whatever. Use what's going to be different for you is your voice, how you see the world, and how you want to tell that story to others, and really focus on that, and know who you are, and let that, you know, that's the winner to me. Not the Sundance, not the money, not that. At least for your first film, you know, just make it the most of you as possible. And, you know, yes, you have to conform to production guidelines as well, but let it be you, really. It'll be maybe the one chance you can really just be you. You know, if you get hired, they're going to want you to do it a little their way because that's part of the deal. Sorry. So if this is the chance that you get to do it, let your voice, you know, really ring out there.
I just want to underline a couple of the things that have already been said. First of all, the idea of filmmaking being a conversation is a fantastic metaphor. It's one you should hang on to, because whatever it is that you write and you create, it's a conversation you're having with your intended audience. And when I say that you need to, that what you have to offer is very specific, it's you. What I mean by that is not that you only write for yourself. In fact, it's just the opposite. It's a conversation. You're writing to reveal something to somebody else. I think what I'm suggesting is that when you go through this rewrite process that I'm advocating again and again, you look at your script and you've made thousands of choices, little choices of dialogue, little choices of action, little choices of setting, little choices of this and that. And what happens inevitably is in your first draft, many of those choices are extremely generic. Generic to whatever genre you're doing, generic to whatever movies you like. And what you need to do is keep challenging yourself to go through the script and make all those choices specific. What kind of choice can you make as a filmmaker in this conversation that's a little bit different? Because what we want from you as filmmakers is to show us something that we haven't seen before, to say something about, you know, the human predicament that's slightly different, that only you know or only you could reveal to us. So I'm advocating that you challenge yourself to keep going through that script and with the audience in mind. Don't tell us something that we already know. Tell us something that only you know. And that could be just something as simple as setting a conversation in a McDonald's instead of a car, setting it in a empty baseball stadium instead of, you know, walking through a field. Something specific that you know about or can imagine or have access to that is going to make that little choice. I mean, because yes, there may be only 7 plots, but the way you tell it, the way you execute it, is where it's going to be unique.
All right, we have about 6 or 7 minutes for questions. Is anybody?
On the one where you were having to rewrite on set to notes, was it contractually written that you had to take their notes and had to do rewrites, or
Well, let me just repeat the question. He's asking on where she was contracted to write something. He was asking about whether she contractually had to take the notes.
It was an interesting case because I wrote it and then they bought it and then I was a for-hire director. So technically, but even if I wasn't, I feel like again it's a collaboration, and you know they're the executives and you're trying to compromise and you're trying to give them what they want, but I was trying to do it that would still be true to what I was trying to say.
I was concerned about pulling the thread that just like cascade fails through the whole script.
I mean, there were things that they did change that I still am like, ugh, but in the end, it was something I still like the movie and it was still what I wanted. But sometimes that just goes by the wayside, and then the things that I really cared about are the things that I held on to and didn't change. So.
We don't have time to pass around the mic, so when you ask your questions, ask them loud enough that they can be heard through the whole. Yeah, we got it under control. Go ahead.
Once you have written or achieved a script that you're happy with, do you recommend or do you personally go to an agent or an attorney and have them represent you when you're acquiring talent or acquiring a producer and production money, or do you do it all yourself?
Actually, that's a stuff we're going to get into and then when we get into pre-production. So I want to just stick to the process of creating the scripts here.
Well, it's a question for Linda. Do you think it's important to hire a line producer